Spoiler, this video is just going to be me yapping. Like, I'm just running my mouth. There's no structure, there's no nothing. I'm just talking, so. Oh, Jesus Christ. I know it would be more on theme for like a fall reading list video if I was drinking like a cup of tea, hot coffee, warm hot chocolate. But honestly, like, I'm just gonna drink my beverage and you're just gonna take it. Like, you're just gonna have to thug it out. I don't know what to tell you. I don't want to drink that. I want to drink this. It's my video. So, okay, let's begin. Okay, so I do have a pretty exhaustive TBR list. I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't like finished a book in a few months. I've been in kind of a slump. I think it's just the timing. Like, it's just how my life has been this past summer. I just literally have not had the time to read. Like, I don't... Well, actually, to be fair, you can always find time to read. I just wasn't looking for that time. I wasn't finding it. I wasn't making it. But lately I was like, girl, what the hell is wrong with you? Find the time. So that's what I've been doing. And because of that, I now have an exhaustive TBR list. I'm going to share it. Yay! Okay, so I'm currently reading Babel right now. Look at her. She's beautiful. And hold on, guys. Look at this other... Ah! It's so beautiful. Like, look at this copy. Are you looking at it? I don't think you're really deeping the beauty of this copy. I'm gonna annotate her. She's gonna be gorgeous. She's gonna be great. I love it. And I just Okay, I'm gonna read you the synopsis for Babel. 1828. Robin Swift, orphaned by cholera in Canton, is brought to London by the mysterious Professor Lovell. There, he trains for years in Latin, Ancient Greek, and Chinese, all in preparation for the day he'll enroll in Oxford University's prestigious Royal Institute of Translation, also known as Babel. The tower and its students are the world's center for translation and, more importantly, magic. Silverworking, the art of manifesting the meaning lost in translation using enchanted silver bars, has made the British unparalleled in power, as the arcane craft serves the Empire's quest for colonization. For Robin, Oxford is a utopia dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge, but knowledge obeys power, and as a Chinese boy raised in Britain, Robin realizes serving Babel means betraying his motherland. As his studies progress, Robin finds himself caught between Babel and the shadowy Hermes Society, an organization dedicated to stopping imperial expansion. When Britain pursues an unjust war with China over silver and opium, Robin must decide. Can powerful institutions be changed from within, or does revolution always require violence? And honestly, guys, also, I'm eating popcorn. Don't mind me. I'm halfway through the book right now. Loving it so far. It's not slow. Like, this is how far I am, like, physically, but I've been listening to the audiobook for the past like 3 days every time like I drive to work or just like go somewhere, so it's actually brought me about like halfway. I just haven't updated it in the physical book, but guys, I love this book so far. So far, so good. And because I love this book so much, I'm becoming so obsessed with R.F. Kuang. Like, she's half of my For You page right now. I know she's releasing another book next year, which I'm super excited to read. It's called, like, Catabasis. I want to read all of her other works. Like, let's actually get into the TBR list that was sprung because of this book. I really want to read The Will of the Many. Duh. Like, what do you mean? I need to read that book. I need to read that book. And I must read that book. And I have to read that book. I originally wanted to get the paperback copy so I could annotate it. And when I first discovered the book, it was supposed to release this year. Fall of this year. Tell me why. I go to check and now it's been pushed back to 2025. Oh, wow. That's so disrespectful. That's so disrespectful. So now I don't know if I should hold off on buying the book, or if I should just read it online, or if I should just buy the hardcover copy and annotate the hardcover copy. My only thing is that it feels incorrect to annotate a hardcover. Like, it needs to be paperback. I need to be able to flip through it and see my hard work after I'm done annotating. I need to see all my tabs. I need to see the beauty of the book. And I feel like that can really only be successfully achieved with a paperback copy. So I'm not really sure what to do, but I do know that I want to read that book by the end of this year. So I have some tough choices to make. Anyway, the Katanan Republic. The hierarchy may rule the world now, but they do not know everything. I tell them my name is Vis Telemus. I tell them I was orphaned after a tragic accident 3 years ago, and that good fortune alone has led to my acceptance into their most prestigious school. I tell them that once I graduate, I will gladly join the rest of civilized society in allowing my strength, my drive, and my focus, what they call will, to be leached away and added to the power of those above me, as millions already do, as I must eventually do. I tell them that I belong, and they believe me. But the truth is that I have been sent to the Academy to find answers, to solve a murder, to search for an ancient weapon, to uncover secrets that may tear the Republic apart, and that I will never, ever cede to my will to the empire that executed my family. To survive, though, I will have to rise through the Academy's ranks. I will have to smile and make friends, and pretend to be one of them, and win. Because if I cannot, then those who want to control me, who know my real name will no longer have any use for me. And if the hierarchy finds out who I truly am, they will kill me. Hello? Hello? Oh, wait. Hold on, because I actually might start reading this today. Like, this sounds fantastic. The thing with me is that I like to know absolutely nothing when I go into reading these books. I like to know zero, I like to know zilch, I like to know nada, right? But for the sake of this video, I decided that I'm going to read every single synopsis. I'm not going to go off of vibes. I'm going to, read it, make it educated, make it structured, make it proper. In doing this, I now realize how fantastic and wonderful and excellent and glorious and just delicious this book sounds. That was the best synopsis I've ever read in my life. I need to read it right now. I need to stop everything and I need to read it right now. Wow, guys. Wow. So I really want to read Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I'm gonna read you the synopsis. Y'all just try and tell me this doesn't sound good. Okay? Ready? Authors June Hayward and Athena Liu were supposed to be twin rising stars, but Athena is a literary darling. June Hayward is literally nobody. Who wants stories about basic white girls, June thinks. So, when June witnesses Athena's death in a freak accident, she acts on impulse. She steals Athena's just finished masterpiece, an experimental novel about the unsung contributions of Chinese laborers during World War I. So what if June edits Athena's novel and sends it to her agent as her own work? So what if she lets her new publisher rebrand her as Juniper's Song, complete with an ambiguously ethnic author photo? Doesn't this piece of history deserve to be told, whoever the teller? That's what June claims, and the New York Times bestseller list seems to agree. But June can't get away from Athena's shadow, and emerging evidence threatens to bring June's stolen success down around her. As June races to protect her secret, she discovers exactly how far she will go to keep what she thinks she deserves. With its totally immersive first-person voice, Yellowface grapples with questions of diversity, racism, and cultural appropriation, as well as the terrifying alienation of social media. R.F. Kuang's novel is timely, razor-sharp, and eminently readable. Now y'all tell me that it's not like a good book. You can't! This sounds so interesting. I am really excited to read it, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen this fall. It's on my fall TBR list. It will be read this fall, period. And on top of that, The Poppy War. Are you kidding me? It's currently sitting in my Amazon cart right now. I'm just so scared to press purchase, but at the same time, I need to read it. Are you kidding me? I'm just a bit scared because it is a series, and honestly, series are kind of intimidating to me at the moment. 3 books is a big commitment, especially because it's not like a romance, not like a rom-com. It's a literal war story, fantasy, like super intense. So like I know it's gonna be a lot to get through, and 3 books of like repeated torture just sounds crazy. Can't lie, it just sounds crazy right now. That's another reason why I'm actually terrified to read Throne of Glass, because it's 8 books. Like I can do 8 books of a romance contemporary type of vibe, but in fantasy I just feel like that's like so much. Like you're doing a lot. You're doing kind of a lot. So I'm gonna get there when I get there, but I really do want to read The Poppy War, like so bad, so it's gonna have to happen. Probably gonna buy it for myself maybe after my next paycheck. I've kind of spent too much money right now, so we're gonna relax a little bit. Anyway, moving on. Next, Sword of Kaigen. If you've even heard just faint rumors, faint whispers of this book, you know why I want to read it. Like, I just want to read it. Are you kidding me? Are you dumb? Like, are you dumb? I need to read Sword of Kaigen! So, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna read you guys the synopsis, okay? Better to die sharp in war than rust through a time of peace. A mother struggling to repress her violent past, a son struggling to grasp his violent future, a father blind to the danger that threatens them all. When the winds of war reach their peninsula, will the Matsuda family have the strength to defend their empire? Or will they tear each other apart before the true enemies even reach their shores? High on a mountainside, at the edge of the Kaigenese Empire, live the most powerful warriors in the world. Superhumans capable of raising the sea and wielding blades of ice. For hundreds of years, the fighters of the Kusanagi Peninsula have held their empire's enemies at bay, earning their frozen spit of land the name the Sword of Kaigen. Born into Kusagani's legendary Matsuda family, 14-year-old Mamoru has always known his purpose, to master his family's fighting techniques and defend his homeland. But when an outsider arrives and pulls back the curtain on Kaigen's alleged age of peace, Mamoru realizes that he might not have much time to become the fighter he was bred to be. Worse, the empire he was bred to defend may stand on a foundation of lies. Misaki told herself that she left the passions of her youth behind when she married into the Matsuda house. Determined to be a good housewife and mother, she hid away her sword, along with everything from her days as a fighter in a faraway country. But with her growing son asking questions about the outside world, the threat of an impending invasion looming across the sea, and her frigid husband grating on her nerves, Misaki finds the fighter in her clawing its way back to the surface. Yeah. Y'all are just not serious about life, honestly. If you just listen to that synopsis and you think you don't care, then I can't help you. There's no saving you, and I'm not gonna waste my time. I have not seen one person say anything negative about the book. Now, I have to take that fact with a grain of salt, because there are so many books that had glowing reviews and I read it and I was just shocked and disappointed and actually offended. The Spanish love deception. So, you know, I could be very surprised when I read this book, but I don't think I will be. I think I'm going to enjoy it. I have high expectations, and I honestly think those expectations are going to be met. So I'm excited. All her books are like fantasy, or at least the ones that I want to read from her. This one and Blood Over Brighthaven is like fantasy type of vibes, but this one is like war fantasy, right? It's a war story. It literally says that on the title. Can you read? It's a war story. But Blood Over Brighthaven is more like dark academia. And oh, me and dark academia go together real bad, okay? And when I was first like discovering these two books, it was not as talked about. It was a little bit chill. It was just in a small little cutesy corner of book talk. Now it's getting more popular. More people are reading it. So I just need to hurry up because I want to be able to say I read it first. Obviously not first, but like I was in the first group. I knew about it, right? But I haven't read it. So now I need to lock in. I need to maintain my sense of superiority. And I need to read it now. And I need to read it fast. And I need to read it before everybody else reads it. Thank you. Okay. So magic has made the city of Tyran an industrial utopia, but magic has a cost, and the collectors have come calling. An orphan since the age of 4, Sayona has always had more to prove than her fellow students. For 20 years, she has devoted every waking moment to the study of magic, fueled by a mad desire to achieve the impossible, to be the first woman ever admitted into the high magistracy. When she finally claws her way up the ranks to become a high mage, however, she finds that her challenges have just begun. Her new colleagues will stop at nothing to let her know she is unwelcome, beginning with giving her a janitor instead of a qualified lab assistant. What neither Sayona nor her peers realize is that her taciturn assistant was once more than a janitor. Before he mopped the floors for the mages, Donil was a nomadic hunter from beyond Tyran's magical barrier. 10 years have passed since he survived the perilous crossing that killed his family. But, working for a high mage, he seized the opportunity to finally understand the forces that decimated his tribe, drove him from his homeland, and keep the Tyranish in power. Through their fractious relationship, mage and outsider uncover an ancient secret that could change the course of magic forever, if it doesn't get them killed first. Sayona has defended her life by the pursuit of truth, but how much is one truth worth with the fate of civilization in the balance? I don't even need to read the synopsis to know. I don't even need to read the synopsis to know that I'm gonna like this book. Let me relax. Let me chill. Let me chill. Let me calm. I'm just excited. I'm sorry. Oh, I love reading. Like, why am I just remembering that I like to read books? Like, I just remembered that today. Anyway. I really want to read Immortal Dark by tigest Girma. She actually is a book talker. I've seen some of her videos on TikTok, and I really want to read and support because I remember the original video that she made, and it was like, oh, like, this is the premise. Would you read a book like this? And I was like, girl, yes, I would. I stumbled across her TikTok page a little while later. She published the book. I obviously would love to support a fellow Black author. Well, I say fellow, but I'm not an author. But a fellow as in like Black person, not author. But who knows, guys? Maybe I'm gonna be a writer one day. I'm gonna read you the synopsis and y'all tell me. The Cruel Prince meets Ninth House in this dangerously romantic dark academia fantasy. Stop right there. I don't need to read anything else. I already know. And you already know too. But I'll continue. Where a lost heiress must infiltrate an arcane society and live with the vampire she suspects killed her family and kidnapped her sister. It began long before my time, but something has always haunted our family. Orphaned heiress Kaigen Adane grew up far from the arcane society she was born into, where human bloodlines gain power through vampire companionship. When her sister June disappears, Kaigen is convinced a vampire stole her, the very vampire bound to their family, the cruel yet captivating Susenyos Sagad. I don't know if I'm saying these names right, by the way. To find June, Kaigen must infiltrate the elite Oxley University, where students study to ensure peaceful coexistence between humans and vampires and inherit their family legacies. Kaigen must survive living with the Susenyos, even as he does everything he can to drive her away. It doesn't matter that Susenyos' wickedness speaks to Kaiden's own violent nature and tempts her to surrender to a life of darkness. She must find her sister and kill Susenyos at all costs. When a murder mirroring June's disappearance shakes Oxley, Kaigen sinks further into the ruthless underworld of vampires, risking her very soul. There, she discovers a centuries-old threat, and June could be at the center of it. To save her sister, Kaigen must bring Oxley to its knees and either break free from the horrors of her own actions or embrace the dark entanglements of love and the blood it requires. That sounds good to me. Right. Exactly. Period. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. I want to read it. And it's dark academia. Guys, I love dark academia. Like, that is just... something about it just speaks to me, you know? Okay, another book I want to read. And the thing is, like, I don't even really have to say much. Y'all already know what it is. I just think I need to read this book. And the funniest part is that it's winter. It's about to be winter. It's fall, you know. The days are getting shorter. The nights are being longer. It's gloomier outside. And that is the time that I want to read this book because I just want to feel something. Okay, the next book is Nectar of War. I've already started reading this, as you can tell. You can see my cute little annotations. I'm gonna read the synopsis. So, a deadly mutation has reached its peak within Vigon, the realm of wolves, forcing High Prince Laven and the leaders of his court to seek out other realms for a cure. Throughout Laven's search for alliance, he discovers the realm of the Fae may be their only hope at surviving not just mutations, but the coming war. As a now separated world, the nations of the Vonstadt universe must put their differences to rest and live as the Orvions of their world once did, ages before, to stop the darkness looming over them all. In Vigon, Myvina, a captive servant, and Prince Laven become a contracted pair. As they grow closer, Myvina discovers the powers within herself that provide her with the strength she once thought lost. During this age of war, sacrifices are made, love is tested, families are broken, and lives are to be taken. Even those who are known as the strongest of their world falter in the wake of disaster, all but one. Honestly, this synopsis did not do the book justice. So far, I really like it. If I were to talk about it in terms of tropes, there's fated mates, enemies to lovers. It's a war. So far, so good. I'm further than this though. I've been reading it on my Kindle, and what I like about this book is that it's multiple perspectives. Prince Laven, how was discussed in the synopsis, is the main character, but he has these brothers bonded by blood. They're not actually blood brothers, but they're bond. You know how they be doing in fantasy. So it's the perspective of all of them. It's kind of like Six of Crows in the sense that all the perspectives are not overwhelming and you're invested in everybody's story, but everybody has their own story. So if you liked Six of Crows, if you like the way that Six of Crows was narrated and the style that it was written in, you probably like this book because it follows it in that sense, but it's its own plot, obviously. It's different. But yeah. So the next two books, I'm honestly not even going to read you the synopsis. We know these books, we love these books. They need no introduction. I feel like I can't go into fall. I can't do this whole book talk, fall era, fall TBR list, all this, without also acknowledging these two books. These are the founding fathers of dark academia. Actually, I am a fraud. I know, I acknowledge it. I haven't read these books yet. I'm gonna read them this fall, don't worry, don't cry. So, yeah. And I know that people say not to read them back to back because you're gonna end up hating one of them, so I won't do that. Don't worry, guys. I know the drill. I've already started If We Were Villains, again, as you can see. I was reading Lightlark last year and I hated it so bad. I didn't even finish it. So I started reading this book side by side so that I wouldn't fall into a slump, but then I never ended up finishing this book. So I'm gonna finish that this fall. And then probably at the very, very end, when I've exhausted the entire TBR list, then I'll go to this one so that I can space it out, But I need to read The Secret History. That's just mandatory. I know. Next, we have The Idiot. The year is 1995, and email is new. Helen, the daughter of Turkish immigrants, arrives for her freshman year at Harvard. She signs up for classes in subjects she has never heard of, befriends her charismatic and worldly Serbian classmate, Svetlana, and almost by accident begins corresponding with Ivan, an older mathematics student from Hungary. Helen may have barely spoken to Ivan, but with each email they exchange, the act of writing seems to take on new and increasingly mysterious meanings. At the end of the school year, Ivan goes to Budapest for the summer, and Helen heads to the Hungarian countryside to teach English in a program run by one of Ivan's friends. On the way, she spends 2 weeks visiting Paris with Svetlana. Helen's summer in Europe does not resonate with anything she has previously heard about the typical experiences of American college students, or indeed of any other kinds of people. For Helen, this is a journey further inside herself, a coming to grips with the ineffable and exhilarating confusion of first love, and with the growing consciousness that she is doomed to become a writer. Once again, I don't think the summary really does the book justice, but I can't say that so confidently because I haven't read the book. But I do know the vibes, and the vibes that I've seen from the TikToks that I've watched, this book is good. So let's hope that it lives up to the hype. It's more of a coming of age literary fiction. If you thrive off of academic validation, that type of vibe, you would like this book, which I like. So that's why it's on my list and that's why I want to read it. Then, last but not least, okay, this is very unrealistic. I'm just being real with y'all. But as we know, Olivie Blake is just, I just love that woman. I love everything she writes. I need to read everything she writes. I need to imprint it in my brain. I want it tattooed on the back of my eyelids. So I want to finish the Atlas 6 series. I have all 3 books. I've read the first one. It may be 15% into the second one. So I want to finish the series this fall because once again, dark academia, it's a group of 6 people. So it's giving Six of Crows, everybody has their own perspective. Everybody is important in the story. And I like that. Found family type of vibes. That's what I enjoy. On top of the Atlas 6 series, Yellowface, I also want to read Masters of Death, which is another book by her. That book is more like Fantasy. There is a haunted house, but the real estate agent is trying to sell it anyways. It just looks like a fun vibe for fall. And I've already read one for my enemy, which, oh my gosh, don't even get me started on one for my enemy because I was screaming for everybody to read this book like 2-3 years ago, and nobody was listening to me. Now it gets republished. Now everybody wants to, hop on the train and read the book and talk about, oh my gosh, this book is so good, I love this book. I told y'all that from so long ago, and nobody wanted to listen to me. If you know how many edits I made about that book and they did not get any views, but now people want to be reading the book, like I was on that first. Anyway, I low-key want to reread it because I want the new copy. I have the old copy. I have the original cover. Like I'm telling y'all, I was on this. I've been read that book, but I want the new cover and I want to annotate the new cover. So I also want to read that this fall, but I don't know. That's a bit ambitious. I might be being delusional, like who has the time, but I want to. So it's on the list. So it's in this video. So I'm talking about it right now. But yeah, that's the end. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's the end of my list. Those are all the books I want to read for fall. That's my TBR list. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys could take some inspo from the list because I know I have great taste. Like, you're welcome. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video with your friends. Watch it again. Maybe give me like 2 views. Like if everybody who watches this video watches it twice, God will bless you. Obedience comes before the promise. That's what the Bible says. Watch the video twice and share it. Okay,